through the trees.
We all want more from our four-wheel drives, and especially when it comes to off-road performance. Now that's never more important than when it comes to acceleration and your right foot. Now there's been a lot of chit-chat in the comments about throttle controllers and whether they do or don't work. So to answer some of those questions and clear up a lot of the confusion, we thought we'd head down and see Tim, the owner of Ultimate9, and have a chat about throttle controllers and the other products that they do. G'day guys, today we're here with Tim from Ultimate9. Now Tim, I still scratch my head. There's people out there in the industry saying that, oh no, throttle controllers don't work. It's a misnomer. All we're going to do is press the pedal harder. And it's like, what do they actually do? How do they work? Because they are real.
So essentially within the ECU, you've got your throttle mapping, and that's all compiled in the throttle tables. So when ECU tuning, the engineers at the OEMs, what they'll do is they'll program that, and they'll try and program that for the average user. So there's a compromise between what everyone else is wanting to do. By manipulating the signal, we can adjust it to suit the driving style of the person on the day. So it might be a vehicle like this, which is our GU. Some days that's going to be rock crawling, so you want really, really dampened response to try and really get maximum traction so you're not bouncing the car. You might be charging through mud, slippery bog holes and that sort of thing where you want maximum response, so you can adjust it straight up without having to go into the ECU and reprogram it.
In my mind, the manufacturers, when they build a vehicle, they want to maximize fuel economy. So they tune lag into the ECU. They want to minimize emissions, so they program that into the ECU. They want to protect the driveline, stop people from hooning.
Exactly.
To some degree. So no matter how fast or hard you press the pedal, you can't change that programming in the ECU. The throttle controller does that.
The other thing for a lot of the vehicles these days that we enjoy modifying, they tend to be popular with, like the SUVs are popular with mums taking their kids to school, and they don't want highly modified cars. They're not looking for that, and the manufacturers have got to design the car for them because that's their target market. They're the people that are test driving the cars and they want them to be perfect in that scenario. When we start modifying them and putting bigger tires on and bigger suspension and weighting them down with bull bars and that sort of thing, we've got to make them suit our needs.
I rate throttle controllers as the most obvious accessory you can add to a vehicle. You put driving lights on, every time you drive at night time, you can see the difference when you've got an open road. You put a bull bar on, only time you actually see it is when you hit something or if you're looking at the car when it's parked. You don't actually experience it every time you drive it. But the throttle controller, you feel it every time you touch that pedal, every time you drive.
The other thing is, majority of people will be able to fit it themselves. So there's a bit of self-satisfaction in getting a product, putting it in, seeing the difference, and they'll notice a difference straight away. They'll be able to take it out.
And one of the things I love about it, it comes in a beautifully presented box, but you open that up and it's plug and play.
Most people are going to be able to fit it themselves, 5-10 minutes in their driveway, no tools are required, and then they get the satisfaction of testing it straight away. And you'll see the difference straight away. So it's not like you're fitting a set of driving lights, which are getting really complicated on cars, getting all the wiring correct, and then you've got to wait for it to be nighttime to take it for a drive. So one of the benefits of our EVC and our EVCX throttle controllers is the ability to adjust to suit the terrain that you're driving in. So sometimes when you're on the steep, slippery pinches or in the ruts, you want really quick throttle response to be able to pop out. Sometimes you want dampened throttle response. It'll give you more control over wheel placement, particularly on technical things where you've got a little bit more traction and you're trying to get your wheel placement right. It just gives you the ability to adjust to suit the differing terrain. We've got our EVC throttle controllers, but have been around for quite a while and everyone sort of knows. Work really well, really, really simple and easy to operate. They give you your eco mode, which dampens the throttle response. The ultimate mode ramps up the throttle response, and at 9 different settings, so you can adjust it to suit, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. It's got automatic control, which will adapt based on how hard you press the pedal. So if you're accelerating a little bit less aggressively, it'll come on less aggressively. But then when you want that punch and you accelerate a little bit harder, it'll come on more aggressively. We recently released our EVC X. Our EVCX is basically taking the same formula that we've had success with our EVC throttle controllers and just added some extra features to make it a little bit more user-friendly for people. It can be controlled with an app and a little bit more adjustability, so the people that like to sort of play with things and try and really find the sweet spot, they're able to play with it and get the most performance out of their vehicle. The benefit of the EVCX is got a few extra settings so you can play with it, set it up exactly how you want it to respond and get the absolute most out of your vehicle. It also has a throttle lockout mode, so you can lock the pedal, walk away from the car, essentially immobilizing it, and then come back, unlock it, and it's back to normal again.
Now, Tim, it's been a massive journey over quite a few years now. Where did it all start?
It started in my bedroom, and then it moved to the laundry, and that was about 2013 or so, and slowly sort of progressed to now we've got our office and warehouse here in Baronia, and we've also got our R&D and workshop over in Bayswater.
Unreal. Now for you guys, COVID's been a real evolution.
Yeah, COVID was tough, but as the dust settled, we refined all of our channels. We were able to get stock in more efficiently and sales boomed. So what we did is we looked at everything that we learned, we got more efficient and we reinvested in the business. We started our R&D facility over in Bayswater and we started developing some new products. There's our Nudgebars, which we're hoping to bring to the market in September, October. We should have our first stock ready to go. The Nudgebars led us into developing light bars. We needed a reliable supplier of light bars, and so we decided to develop our own. Thankfully, one of the things that's happened over the journey is that I'd say friends that I'd worked with over the years eventually come and started working with us, and so we've brought a lot of knowledge into the business. Light bars weren't something we just stumbled upon. One of our product managers had a lot to do with lighting over the years, so he was able to drive that project to bring a reasonable quality light to the market at a reasonable price.
Excellent. Now, I know you call them nudge bars, but they're a fair level above just your standard old nudge bar.
So we wanted something that could take a hit. It didn't impact or complemented the look of the front end of the vehicle, particularly for the customer that's not going for, they're not four-wheel drivers, they're just touring, they don't need the full bumper replacement, they're not looking to fit winches and that sort of thing. I think that market is fairly well covered by some really, really good quality companies. We were looking at the customer who maybe wasn't going to put a bull bar on their car, but just wanted the addition of a little bit of extra support and mounting things like your driving lights and aerials and that sort of thing. As the program developed, the nudge bars actually become quite rigid. So then we went through to get them airbag tested, which was a good learning experience. And so now we've developed a product that could take reasonable impacts.
And the roof rack's proving pretty popular.
Yeah, the roof rack was a concept that we had. We wanted something that was relatively lightweight, offered a little bit of protection around the gutters. Pete had mentioned on a few of his trips that he'd gotten pretty close to the edges of trees and into some of the deeply rutted tracks, and he sort of mentioned that he was a bit nervous about it. So we went with a full true braille, and we wanted to make it modular. So we're working on new accessories that we can bolt on depending on what we want to carry on the day.
Now from the throttle controller, you evolved into some really cool other products.
Yeah, so initially it started as some add-ons that we could package in with them that kind of made sense. And we did our Bluetooth battery monitors and we had our torches so people could fit them when they were looking under the dash and that sort of thing. GPS trackers become something that we thought there was a hole in the market for a quality platform that wasn't overly expensive. There was sort of the very bottom of the market and then the very top end of the market. That became a very, very successful product for us, and it allowed us to reinvest into the platform. So now we've got new trackers that are coming out, upgrades on the systems, the way that they report. We're building a new app that should be hopefully available in the next few months. And then hopefully within the next probably 6 months, we'll be investing we've already invested in a new technology that'll allow them to transmit through narrowband IoT.
Wow.
So it'll expand the coverage and the accessibility for people.
Now you've got a few vehicles in your fleet, but the GU is the standout one. I know in past years you had a Raptor that came out on a couple of trips with us.
Yep, so we had the Raptor. We still have the Raptor, but the Raptor, it wasn't as reliable on, certainly your trips are quite difficult trips. So we wanted to build something that, dear to our hearts was the Nissan Patrol. Over the years, we'd built quite a few of them, so we knew them in and out. And the 3 litre, a lot of people sort of don't have a lot of time for the 3 litre, but the 3 litre was always not a terrible engine. It was just if they were really overly weighted. Sometimes they weren't so great for towing heavy loads. but it suited our market with the throttle controllers, and we've had nothing but great success with this car. We've built it right, balanced really well. We had a lot of downtime through COVID. Being in Victoria when there was lockdowns, couldn't really move very far. We were struggling with getting things sent off for testing and waiting for equipment, and the car couldn't go away and do trips. So we stripped it down to a bare shell. The entire interior was ripped out, right down to the dash. We pulled the dash out, and it had a ground up rebuild. And the car now is perfect. Yeah, we really love the GU.
And you're bringing that out in a few trips with us soon?
Hoping to, yeah. I think we'll be out there soon.
Now, talking about trips, Tim, we a few years back did a pretty crazy trip with you into China.
Yeah, the highlight for me was the ancient city.
Me too.
Yeah, that was
intense.
That was really, it was almost like being on a movie set. Yeah.
Now, how surreal was the time we fitted an Ultimate 9 to that Haval?
It was a Haval, yeah. That guy was crazy.
Those guys were out in the desert.
Yeah, well, it was perfect timing because we were out in those dunes, and that fell in the Haval. I think it was built as a cross-country rally car. And yeah, he was launching, every time he turned around, he was launching off a dune.
It had never been driven so hard.
I assume he liked it because he was smiling, but I didn't understand a word he said.
And you're very involved in the community here locally in Victoria. You've just been to a Winch Challenge you supported.
Yeah, so when I was younger, the Winch Challenges were the coolest thing we could possibly think of doing with our cars. You know, we used to build them up for tough four-wheel driving, and the Winch Challenges gave us an outlet to test it. Over the years, with the various government policies as far as motorsport and private land has made it pretty tough. But there's a few people like James Hill that's out there trying to really get it up and going, and feel it's the right thing to do to sponsor those guys and help them wherever we can to keep it alive.
Yeah, well, keeping it alive, it's really important. You're nurturing it, so they need the support from people like you.
Yeah, it's a community, the four-wheel drive industry.
What's next for Ultimate 9?
Apart from a couple of tough trips with yourself, our Nudgebar program is something we're working pretty hard on. Once we've sort of got that off the ground, we want to get into a lot more of the niche products. You know, we've had a lot of interest on the Bull Bar and the GU. We'd love to explore more products like that.
Well, if people need more information about Tim and the Ultimate 9 journey, watch our TV shows, but where can they get you online?
www.ultimate9.co, not .com, .co. Our new website's up and running.
Tim, thanks for your support of Life Off-Road. Great to have you on board.
Thank you.
I am going to absolutely send it.
Woohoo! Yee-hoo!